Now we review Rescue Rangers, Season 1, Risky Beesness! Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am Richard. This is Richard's Random Street Theater, and I am here to review for you an episode from the original season of Rescue Rangers way back at the end of the 80s, and that is the ninth episode, Risky Beesness. A beautiful queen bee loses her swarm and is found by Zipper the Fly, and he of course takes them to the Rescue Rangers, takes her to his Rescue Rangers for help. This is a very fly-heavy series, or particular episode, and before I get any further into that, let me remind you, of course, that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase something like one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of trash to the ocean every time I do that. Now, on to my review. Risky Beesness. As I said, a swarm of bees is stolen from the queen, and then Zipper falls in love with her. But he's just a common person, and she's royalty, and she's a frail flower, and there are morals. Also, this is, from what I understand, the only appearance of Erwina and the Stingers, as well as the rock band Iron Goose, but I don't think they play anything. Anyway, so this is a very 80s, very hair metal sort of a thing, and there are kind of two primary morals that you can gain from this. The first one being, three maybe. One, you can't make people like you. So you shouldn't go around trying to make people like you. You should try to get people to like you by being honest and good-hearted and not a dick. And then, of course, there is the looks aren't everything, because, you know, this queen bee, I guess, as queen bees go, she's probably pretty hot, but she is still a queen bee, and I don't know how there would be any relationship between her and Zipper. That makes zero sense to me, but I don't know how breeding works in this world. I mean, you know, it's like, Zippo boy, you do know what happens to male bees after they mate, right? They die. In fact, the depiction of all of these bees as being male is wrong. The bees you see flying around collecting nectar are not male, they are female in nature. But in this world, they're a bunch of boys. And, of course, you know, the queen is then swarmed over by a bunch of personal servants who are also boys. But in the real bee world, boy bees mate and then they die. And then that's their life. And it's a good life. It involves mating and not doing much else, but somehow I don't think flies can get in on that action. Anyway, so then of course, you know, and the queen bee finds out that just because you're common, and in Zipper's case, not all that strong, and has a speech impediment, that you're not a bad person. You're still someone to be cherished and loved and cared for, and that's one of those wonderful things about the Rescue Rangers, is they tell us about society and the fact that, you know, yes, every person has their place. I knew a guy in high school, he was disgusting, he smelled bad, he rented a tuxedo to get a job at Taco Bell but forgot a pen and walked in there and said, "Can I borrow a pen?" And they said, "If you're going to rent a tuxedo to come here, we probably shouldn't hire you, but if you're going to forget the pen, oh dear, you could just leave." But, you know, wherever he is now, I wish him the best. He was an interesting person, and not a lot of people liked him, but he has his place in this world, and we should still care for him and, you know, be feeling that he has a role to play. That's the world we live in. So yes, there's a lot of wonderful things about this episode. Again, how breeding works in this universe, I have never understood. Because every creature seems to be sentient. And then, you know, if every creature is sentient, then shouldn't everyone be a vegetarian? I mean, they're grocery stores and they're humans. So how do the rescue rangers feel about, say, cows and chickens? I mean, if a chicken has a personality and it's a person, you shouldn't eat it. That would be gross. I mean, I would not eat a chicken if it could beat me at chess. Well, checkers. Anyway, but that's not the point. The point is that, yes, this is one of the more interesting episodes. I really feel they went out a lot on this. I remember particularly liking this episode, and in fact, I wish Erwina and the Stingers did have more appearances, because they were interesting villains, interesting characters. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard. Salutations, plebeians! It is I, Stephen Miller, emissary and advisor to his dark orange lordship and the real President Donald Trump, reminding you to comment on and like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, or I will suck out your eyes and feed them to my two tarantulas, Meredith and Red Bill! Ah!